Welcome everybody, Doug Schakel here, Skill Development Coach at Johnson County Community College. I want to talk to you tonight about what I call the basketball roller coaster ride that we know as streak shooting. I can't imagine a more frustrating thing for a player who's a streak shooter or for a coach of a streak shooter because it's just such an inconsistent result for them. They may be really hot and can make everything one day and the next day they can't make anything, or there might be be able to make shots for a couple days, 3 days in a row, and then it disappears for a week, and then it comes back and then disappears. It is literally a roller coaster ride. And so oftentimes the antidote that coaches and players look at is they say, well, we have to work harder at your shooting. We got to shoot more shots. That'll cure it. And I'm here to tell you right now, you can practice all you want if you're a streak shooter, but you're not going to get better until you make a change to your shot. Now, that's tough. That's the toughest group that I work with when I'm working with basketball shooters are streak shooters, because they're very resistant to change. And the reason they're very resistant to change is that sometimes their shot works. So they're kind of convinced there's just this one little thing. If they just keep working, keep shooting, they'll figure out that one little thing. Well, they never do. There is one little thing, and that is that they need to get more arch on their shot. Because the root cause of a streak shooter is that they're flat shooters. Okay, and so they just don't, they have to be so precise to fit the ball into the available space in that basket. You know, a girl's basketball is 9¼ inches in diameter, a guy's ball is 9½ inches in diameter. The inside diameter of a basketball goal is 18 inches, but the only way you're going to use all 18 inches is if you would drop the ball in straight from above. Your outside shots aren't going to come in from straight above. So if you've got a really good 60-degree launch angle, which is correct, 11 o'clock release, up high is 12, and forward to 11 o'clock is the ideal. If you have that, you're going to be able to use about 16 of the 18 inches available to you. But streak shooters typically they don't have 16 inches available. They typically have about 12 inches available. Now, guys, let me tell you this again. You got a 9½ inch diameter basketball, and if you got a 12-inch space to fit into it, that means you've got 1¼ inch on either side of the basketball, which means you have almost no margin for error. So that's why you have to be so precise to fit that ball in there. And sometimes I use this with my players. I'll say, look, I'm going to challenge you to a bet. We're going to have a shooting contest. $500. We're each going to put up $500. Winner takes all. But here's the deal, I should mention to you, is that I get to shoot on a 16-inch basket. You have to shoot on a 12-inch basket. Well, right away the player says, well, Coach, that's not fair. And that's when I say to that player, and you're not being fair to yourself, because you have been shooting as a streak shooter with a flat shot. You are shooting constantly at a 12-inch basket where you could be shooting at a 16-inch basket. All right, so how do we help that player? Well, there's two different things that really lead to that flat shot. One is a player that just has a low release angle. They, instead of if the hour hand was 11, they're probably dropped down to about 10:30. And again, they've got this this 12-inch amount of space to fit the ball into. So if I can raise that arm up to that 11 o'clock angle, then we'll be in pretty good shape. Well, the way we do that, we're going to go to an on-the-court demonstration here right now. I have a thing that I built, I call it the Arch Builder, and I'll explain it in the video clip. But what it does is it creates an obstacle for the player to shoot over. And if you've got a kid, there's no instruction needed here at all. You simply set that obstacle up in front. It's about 9 feet high. You'll see it here in a moment. And you keep moving the obstacle closer to the player until you don't care what's happening at the basket. As a coach, an observer, you're looking until you see that the kid is at 11 o'clock. And so, if they're flat, they're going to hit that PVC pipe. And so, without any further delay, let's go to the gym and let's take a look at the Arch Builder. Actually, before we head to the gym, there's a couple of things that I want to take care of here. Number one is I want to make sure that you have my contact information. You can see my email address up there, DougSchakel@AOL.com. My phone number, you can call me in mornings or evenings and be glad to visit with you. And the other part here, you can see where I put, where you can do a search, Doug Schakel YouTube. If you do that, then when you see our videos, I've made lots of annotations on our videos, all of our videos. But what I've found is there are some other sources that have picked up our videos, and so you're really not getting it directly off of YouTube. And as a result, when you view that, or sometimes it's on some of the small devices like your phone, the annotations don't show up, and there's a lot of information in those annotations. So again, if you would do a search, Doug Schakel YouTube, and then you can click on the video that you want to watch, and you'll see the annotations that go along with that. Now let's go to the gym. Well, if you watch our other videos, particularly 3 Keys to Making More Shots video, you've seen this device. This is something that I call an arch builder. I went to Home Depot or Lowe's, wherever it was, got some PVC pipe, and actually let me drop this down a little bit so you can see the base right there. And then you can see it's about 9 feet, tall, I think it is. And so, again, one of the reasons that a kid is a streak shooter is they shoot the ball flat, and they just don't have much space to fit the ball into the basket. So, about 20 bucks worth of PVC pipe, and I am no handyman, and I made this thing up. And so we got Tyler shooting it right here, and if I found that he was still not getting enough arch, then I would move the device closer to him. Now, I'm going to move the camera around here for just a minute real quick, because I just want to show you what it looks like from behind. Okay, so what you're seeing here is that we don't set that upright piece is not directly in the middle. It's offset. I don't want his vision bothered by this, but you can see that we've still got the T-bar up there, that a piece of T-bar to the right of the upright piece that still makes him have to shoot over that. All right. So the other part is, I'm going to move this back over here, and let's say that I've determined that that Tyler doesn't have enough arch on the right shot yet. Then the next thing that I'll do is incrementally, I'll start moving it that direction until I find a point where he's getting enough arch. And the way that I'll know when he gets enough arch is something I'll explain in my office here in just a minute. I like to have the player shoot from a fixed spot. So free throw line is really a great place, so we always know, where he's going to be and where this thing needs to be set up. You can step it off or measure it up. Once you get him getting a good 60-degree 11 o'clock launch angle, then you can measure that distance and set this thing up for him every time. The beauty of this thing is there's no thinking involved. There's no thinking involved. Just like with our shooting brace, no thinking involved with that one either. Well, there isn't either. He just has to find a way to get it up over the arch builder, and that puts him in position to be able to shoot the ball so that he increases the amount of available space in the basket and makes more shots as a result. So there's 2 ways that I determine whether or not a kid is getting enough arch on his shot when I'm working with him on the arch builder. One is that I'm not paying any attention to the arch builder. What I'm looking at is for his release angle. In other words, does he have a 60-degree, or maybe we should say, from your point of view right now, this would be 11 o'clock right here. Here's 12 o'clock, here's 11. So when I release the ball, is my arm pointing at 11 o'clock, because that's the position you're trying to get. But the other way is to take a look at the quality of the makes of the person shooting the basketball. If I've got reasonable arch on this thing, the kind of arch that I'm looking for, I'll get 3 things that become very evident to me. Number 1, I will have way more swishes, because I have more inside diameter space available to me. I'm not coming at a shallow angle, I'm coming at a steeper angle, and that opens up the basket, so to speak. The second thing that happens is the ball will come down and catch the rim and deflect into the basket. We call those deflected makes. And the third thing that happens is that they will get balls that will hit rim, 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 and fall in, which you call rim dancers. Now, a flat shooter is going to have rim rattlers, balls that come in here and they go brrr and pop out, is you're going to have balls that hit the rim and come away hard. Remember, if he's got adequate arch on the ball, it's going to hit that rim and deflect into the basket. But at a shallow angle, it can't fit, and it has to go back that way. And the other thing that you'll have coming from a shallow angle is that the ball will skip. It'll kind of come in here and kind of like skipping a stone that's a real shallow angle if you're skipping stones on a pond, but it's kind of like skip, skip, and misses. And the other thing that you'll have is if they're off to the right or left just a little bit, you'll have balls that kind of scoop in and out. So again, you can look at the quality of the shot and what's going on, but if they've got the reasonable amount of arch that you're looking for right now, more swishes, more deflected makes, and more rim dancers, and a lot more made shots. Well, the second reason a player has a lack of arch is a shooting flaw that we refer to as a shooter's V. If you've seen our other videos, you know that we like to get into this position right here. This is going to look like a backward block letter C, so to speak. And what we have with a player that has a shooter's V is they drop out of a C to a V, and they get a high lift with their upper arm right here. Well, here's what happens when you're in a shooter's C. You want equal parts of lift and thrust from these two levers. This one provides the lift, this one provides the thrust, and you want them in equal parts as they straighten out to 11 o'clock. Well, when a player gets a shooter's V, they bring the ball back too far, and they've already got all the lift is gone. Okay, all the lift is gone right now. So what they have to do is incorrectly recruit some lift from their hand, which is going to take away from timing, touch, rhythm, and feel. But the majority of what they have now is a thrust, and that means a flat shot. So we're going to take a look at right now is the way that we deal with a player who has a shooter's V. So here's how we're going to correct that shooter's V. I ran across this device quite a long time ago. It's a brace that's actually used in golf. It's to lock you out at a right angle right here so that you can get a good width in your backswing of the golf swing. But what I found is that I've got these players with that shooter's V, and it's one thing to tell them not to do that, but it's quite a whole nother thing to try to get them to do that. And so this thing, and we're going to look at a player back on the gym floor here in just a minute, but this thing will strap on and it locks out. Okay, so it's going to lock that shooter out at 90 degrees. He absolutely physically cannot move this brace. So I mentioned that I got the shooting brace. It's a golf, actually a piece of golf equipment, but I got it in an online golf warehouse, DW Quail, like the bird, Quail. You go to their site and you scroll down a ways and you'll find a bunch of different selections to work on different parts of your shot, to look for equipment to help you with that. And you click on full swing and scroll down a little bit more and you'll find right link, and it's also been called shot link and right angle, but right now it's called right link. I think currently they're selling it in a white plastic, but that's where I get mine. So let's go to the gym right now and take a look at our demonstrator using the right link shooting brace. All right, so as I just showed you back in my office, we've put this shot link, again it's a golf device that we're using to create this reverse C that we're looking for. And again, as I showed you earlier, this thing just simply locks out. There's no way he's getting a V. He's going to have to shoot from this position. And so we're just simply going to shoot over and over and over. He can shoot one-hand, two-hand shot. That part doesn't matter. We're trying to get rid of a shooter's V right now. If the rest of his shot's okay, he's going to put both hands on the basketball. But if he had a problem with alignment, then we'd have him shoot one-handed and with this brace in position. So go ahead and we'll have you shoot a few right here. So again, it just locks out in that shooter C position, that reverse C. He cannot get a V. It just is not going to happen. Now sometimes I want to remind you that anytime you're going to make some kind of a change to your shot, when you put the ball or put our body parts in a new position, your immediate thought is going to be, wow, this feels weird. And my response to that is that, well, it is different, but it is the feeling of correct. I think that's the important thing to understand, is that, you know, you have a comfort zone and you have a shot right now, even though it's flawed, it feels comfortable. It's wrong, but it's comfortable, and so you have to get out of your comfort zone a little bit and give a change that you're trying to make, give it a chance to work, and it will. All right, in closing, I do want to make sure that you understand this, that sometimes in the early going, when you've added more arch to your shot, there will be occasions when the ball will come up short because you're shooting the ball farther. It's going higher in the air, so a little more effort's required. Nothing to worry about. Your computer will figure it out that you're shooting with more arch, and it'll make the necessary adjustment to give you the strength to get the ball there. So I hope that you can use one or both of the ideas that we presented here tonight. Stick with it. You're going to love the results. I always enjoy working with a streak shooter when they start making a lot of shots and on a consistent basis, and they look at you and they have this look on their face like, wow, I just found a get out of jail card. And they can't stop smiling. So put these ideas to use, and soon you'll be smiling too. Until next time, this is Doug Schakel signing off.